Prithviraj Chavan, former Maharashtra Chief Minister, is joining us. Prithviraj ji, your reactions to what has happened, was it inevitable at some stage or the other this three party government would not last?
No, I don't think there's no reason for that. We ran very successful for 2.5 years. But there was internal issue in the Shiv Sena which none of us could sense, that the anger was so deep and huge. What happened was, of course, we are also disappointed with the Supreme Court judgment. They have neither clarified whether the split or the 10th schedule, the anti-defection law criteria was met or not met, the role of governor, role of speaker. There are many issues left unanswered by the judgment. So I think they should have utilized the opportunity to throw some clarity on the anti-defection law. Of course, it's a very weak piece of legislation. It is not serving the intended function. But so that so be it. But the resignation of the Chief Minister was a little bit of surprise. I thought the battle was lost. But I think he should have faced the House tomorrow, made a speech to the people of India, the people of Maharashtra, and then taken a call either to go for voting or resign before that.
So you're saying something very important, Mr. Chavan. You're saying the Chief Minister should have gone to the Assembly, resigned there, not resigned on social media.
Yeah, this is my view. That is like Mr. Bajpayee did. But he could have explained to the people. Facebook Live is not the same thing as speaking in the Assembly. In Assembly, you have a record, permanent record. Other people could have had a chance to speak. Congress and NCP could have said why we did join in a three-party government. The leader of opposition could have said what he wanted to say. And I think he should have gone down fighting that way, whether to face to call for vote or not. That's a different matter. But like Mr. Bajpayee, he could have faced the Assembly. And I don't buy the argument that there'd be bloodshed or anything like that. Because once the Supreme Court decision came, I think the fight was lost. No, I don't think anybody has come on the streets.
One view, Mr. Chavan, is that Uddhav Thackeray didn't want to give the impression that he was clinging on to power. He had already, some believe, tried to cling on to power too long. He should have read the writing on the wall last week itself. Sharad Pawar held him back. Do you believe that you're saying that he should have resigned on the floor of the House?
Yeah, it's a matter of technicality. Resigning on the social media and resigning in the House. The House has a tradition which goes back many years. And I think the record in the House, the video record, audio record, is a permanent record. Now, social media is all right. Who watches social media? What happens? I think that would have been the right thing to do, and he could have then explained his position, why people were angry with him, or other parties would have got a chance to say why did they join in an alliance like that, which to many people appeared unnatural. And then leader of opposition could have also had his say. But that should have been the right democratic procedure. But, well, he has decided not to talk to the people. I don't consider social media communication as...
Well, one final word, sir. What now of the MVA? Will this MVA hold today? Uddhav Thackeray thanks Sonia Gandhi and Sharad Pawar. Is it the end of this experiment? You will now fight the election, the BMC elections, as different parties.
No, I think that's an entirely different question. The question now remains, will Shiv Sena survive? Or will the Shiv Sainik now slowly drift to the Shiv Sena which is in power? Obviously, Mr. Shinde would get an important portfolio. Perhaps he might become a deputy CM. And he'll be in power. So will the Shiv Sainik then remain with Mr. Uddhav Thackeray? Does he have a will to fight? And the advisors which are close to him, what do they advise him? Or will they meekly surrender and disappear in the sunset and let Shiv Sena or whatever the ideology either merge with BJP or form a separate group under Mr. Eknath Shinde, who will now be in government. And so it's a different issue. We'll have to wait and watch what happens to Shiv Sena.
You know, you're saying, therefore, something very significant. You're saying the real battle for now is, in a way, saving the identity of the Shiv Sena. You're saying that really is the big challenge. You're not even looking at the MVA. You're not looking at the future of the Congress, the NCP. The Shiv Sainiks who have rebelled have blamed Sharad Pawar, saying he was monopolizing resources. Do you agree with that?
Well, there are perceptions. It could be. He was definitely the senior-most leader in the state, and his word carried weight. So, but more than that, I'm now worried. If the BJP forms a government, I don't know who leads it. Most likely, it will be Mr. Devendra Fadnavis. That's what the perception is. But when they form the government, would they poach some people from NCP and Congress? Because I'm personally extremely worried that in the council election, at least anything between 2 to 7 people, the Congress MLAs voted for BJP. And our Dalit candidate lost. I'm very deeply sorry for that. Mrs. Gandhi had given a Dalit candidate. Dalit candidate had been given a quota of almost 3 more votes.
So you're saying that you're referring to the MLC election, Chandrakant Handore and the way he lost, but overall the important point takeaway, you're saying Uddhav Thackeray should not have resigned on Facebook Live, should have faced the assembly. Number 2, you're saying the real battle now in Maharashtra first will be for saving the Shiv Sena's identity. Prithviraj Chavan, as always, a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.